Hey guys, it's Clovis, and today I'd like to talk about deck leader experience just to give a better picture on how it works. This information was taken from the game by a user named Hozu, who posted this information on Game FAQs, or Game Facts as I call it. You can find a link to these posts in the description, and also in the description you'll find a video to my fast ranking guide and best deck leaders. Just so in case you wanted to climb the ranks, it's the best way to do it. So including not having a rank, there are a total of 13 ranks in the game. A monster starts off as a non-commissioned officer, which is no rank, then there are 12 ranks after that. Visually, there are 4 tiers for ranks, and each tier has a rank for 1, 2, and 3 stars respectively in each tier. So for the first tier, simply represented by stars, you have Second Lieutenant, First Lieutenant, and Captain, represented by 1, 2, and 3 stars respectively, and this pattern will continue as we go into the next tiers. The second tier is represented with 1 yellow stripe followed by the same star pattern. This contains Major, Lieutenant Colonel, and then Colonel. The third tier has 3 yellow stripes and continues the star pattern for Brigadier General, Rear Admiral, and Vice Admiral. Then the fourth and final tier gives you this gorgeous royal red border in addition to the 3 yellow stripes. The ranks for these are Admiral, Senior Admiral, and finally the top rank, Secretary of Defense. So in order to gain rank on a monster, it needs to gain experience, which I'll discuss a little bit later. But for now, let's actually look at how much experience you need for each rank. This is information that is actually hidden from the player. Despite the fact that the intro actually features these numbers that actually do indeed show experience values, these are not present in the final version of any game in any region. Here are the corresponding ranks and their XP value. So there's a few things to talk about here, but before I continue, I do want to mention that there's an intended program in the game that once a monster reaches the Second Lieutenant rank, it can never D-rank back to a non-commissioned officer. The main thing you'll notice is that as your rank goes up, the requirement for XP for each rank increases over time. The first ranks are quite easy to gain, and then the final ranks take a lot more time in comparison to the early ones. It actually requires more experience to go from the second highest rank to the highest rank than it does to go from having no experience at all to achieving the 6th rank in the game. In fact, it actually takes longer to get from the 3rd highest rank to the final rank than it does to get from having no experience to get all the way up to Rear Admiral. Speaking of the highest rank, you'll also notice Secretary of Defense only has 1 single value and no actual range. It requires 65,535 experience to reach. This number occurs frequently in computing because it is 1 less than 2 to the power of 16, which is the highest number that can be represented by an unsigned 16-bit binary number. Due to how XP is programmed, this is the highest number you can reach, so once you reach the highest number it can track, you gain Secretary of Defense rank. And you can't actually gain any experience after you reach Secretary of Defense. This means that at the end of a duel, if you have a net negative experience gain, you will actually go below the max XP number the game can track, and you will D-rank from Secretary of Defense. So now let's actually look at the actions in the game that increase your experience. So if you destroy an enemy monster, the experience you gain will be 3 times the enemy monster's level if it is a normal monster, or 4 times the level of the monster if it is an effect monster. A monster attacking an enemy leader directly gains 20 experience. However, if you attack the enemy leader directly to win, you gain 24 experience. Once you win a duel, your deck leader gains 32 experience for that victory. If a monster runs over an enemy spell or trap card, it gains 6 experience. And finally, my favorite one, because this is how you can gain rank super easy. If your monster is on field face up at the end of a turn, it gains 4 experience per card. However, if it is face down and on the field at the end of a turn, it only gains 2 experience. Now, the opposite of winning a duel, if you lose a duel, your deck leader loses 32 experience. So that's the same value of when you win, just opposite, because you lose. And now we're going to end the video on another strange note. So, there's a bunch of actions in the game apart from your deck leader losing a duel that actually lower the monster's experience by 4. Every time your monster is sent to the graveyard by discarding it, by fusing it, if the monster dies on crushed terrain, or if it's sent to the graveyard by you moving a card over it on the field and dumping it to the graveyard that way, the card will lose 4 experience. But ironically enough, if a monster actually dies by battle, it does not affect the experience whatsoever. I have no idea if this was intended or not, if it's just one of those, the many errors in the game of programming, but apparently it's true. If your monster dies in battle, it doesn't lose any experience, despite the fact that you lose experience if a monster gets sent to the graveyard by pretty much any other means. So yeah, good on the game developers for that one. So again, thanks to the user Hozu, I have no way of communicating with him directly. I'm not taking any credit for finding out this information, it was all him. I'm merely just putting this in a video form because people probably aren't going to find this post. Only people who deliberately search up deck leader info may eventually come across it, but for the most part it's kind of obscure, so I just wanted to put that information into a video form so it's more convenient for some people to access and view. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.